because we now know who all the prosecutors will be on Diddy's trial. They're all women. They have assembled a team of female prosecutors, and that is definitely not by accident.
How many people came through his orbit? How many people could this have happened to? And how did he get away with it for so long?
Lil Wayne has shattered the silence in a way no one else dared. His explosive claims about Sean Diddy Combs' empire have sent shockwaves through the music industry and beyond, hinting at a dark, hidden world lurking beneath the glitz and glamour. Wayne alleges that Diddy's success isn't just built on talent, business acumen, or even luck, but on manipulation, secrecy, and control. And the most chilling part? This isn't just another celebrity feud or petty rivalry. According to Wayne, the surface-level scandals we've seen are merely the tip of a deeply sinister iceberg.
So Diddy, if you're just joining us here, was just arrested and taken into federal custody in New York tonight. Sources tell TMZ Homeland Security swooped into a Midtown hotel late Monday where Diddy was staying, and they arrested him.
He's pulled back the curtain on what he calls Diddy's dark empire, exposing a network of parties that weren't just about indulgence or excess, but allegedly about control. Manipulative environments where hidden cameras captured vulnerable individuals, and a luxury prison atmosphere kept them trapped. Wayne's voice trembles with conviction as he describes this shadowy operation, claiming he's personally helped rescue over 100 victims from its grip. Yes, 100 lives freed from what he paints as a gilded cage of exploitation. But how? And what does this say about Diddy's true nature? Is he a mogul who lost his way, or a master manipulator who never cared about the cost of his ambition? The tension surrounding these revelations is amplified by a resurfaced video clip of Lil Wayne delivering what now feels like a prophetic warning. In the footage, Wayne speaks directly to young artists, cautioning them about the dangers of certain industry figures. Though he doesn't name Diddy outright, the weight of his words has grown heavier with time. What once seemed like a cryptic jab or even a joke now resonates as a dire prophecy, a warning shot that went ignored for years. And now, with hindsight, it's impossible not to feel the chill of what Wayne was trying to say all along. The industry's golden gates may not lead to paradise, they may lead to something far darker.
Incredible. And, it brings into context our whole system of innocent till proven guilty. Why is he not being given bond? And, we could debate that all day long. Of all people that's unlikely to flee or get away, well, he's got the resources to flee, but he's so recognizable. And isn't he innocent till proven guilty? Well, yeah, but, we have to recognize there are degrees of innocent till proven guilty.
And then there's the first major rumor. A piece of this puzzle so bizarre, it would sound like a conspiracy theory if not for the whispers that have surrounded it for years. Beneath the sprawling opulence of Diddy's Miami mansion, insiders claim lies a network of underground tunnels. These tunnels, described by some as freak-off tunnels, allegedly served as the backdrop for secretive, highly controlled gatherings. Whistleblowers suggest these weren't just parties. They were events designed for total secrecy and silence. What happened in those tunnels? Who was brought there? And why have so few ever spoken about it since? The more we hear, the more these alleged tunnels sound less like a decadent indulgence and more like a mechanism of power, one that could hold secrets too sinister to imagine. Lil Wayne's claims only escalate from here as he brings the focus back to his own actions. He alleges that he has worked with insiders, people on the fringes of Diddy's empire, to dismantle this hidden network. And the most shocking part? His assertion that he helped free over 100 victims from this operation. Let that sink in. Over 100 individuals trapped in a system that Wayne describes as exploitative and controlling. This isn't just a whistleblower speaking out. This is a man claiming he risked everything to fight against a machine so powerful, most wouldn't dare take it on. But what does this say about Diddy? If these claims are true, is he simply a man who got in over his head? Or is he the mastermind of something far more calculated?
With all the money he has and all the resources he has, they couldn't craft some solution that lets him be under some form of house arrest. And again, it sounds like special treatment, but the truth of the matter is, to incarcerate somebody like him is expensive to all of us. We're taxpayers, and he's got to have unique situations. You can't put him in general population where, everyone wants a piece of him and everyone wants to be his friend and everyone. So,
as the allegations pile up, it's impossible not to look back at some of the eerie details that have surfaced in recent months. Take the resurfaced revelations about Diddy's infamous freak-off parties, for example. These gatherings, long whispered about in industry circles, were allegedly fueled by substances and secrecy. And now, federal investigators have added even more disturbing accusations to the mix. According to court documents, these weren't just wild parties. They were orchestrated performances, meticulously planned to ensure total control over the participants. Victims of these events have described being coerced into situations they couldn't escape, and some claim the events were filmed without their consent, videos allegedly used to blackmail or silence them. And then there's the bizarre detail of the baby oil. Yes, baby oil, thousands of bottles of it reportedly seized during federal raids on Diddy's properties. What was it for? Theories range from the absurd to the horrifying, with comedian Cat Williams even joking about it in a recent stand-up set. "You think you're getting a massage," Williams quipped, "but you can't even get up." His humor, though biting, masks a darker truth. The idea that these items were part of a larger scheme to control and exploit. And let's not forget the allegations that substances may have been mixed into these oils to incapacitate victims, leaving them even more vulnerable.
Well, Sierra, anything's possible, right? But now this judge has an even harder time, I think, because the past judge locked him up, didn't let him out, and he's still there available for trial. If the new judge lets him out on bond and something goes wrong, and this isn't the analysis that I'm proud to make, right? We shouldn't be saying, well, judges are worried about their own skin and how they look if something bad happens.
It's not just Lil Wayne who's raising alarms either. Cat Williams himself has been vocal about the dangers lurking behind Diddy's glamorous facade. He's spoken openly about declining invitations to Diddy's infamous parties, even claiming he has receipts to back up his decision to steer clear. And in a chilling prediction earlier this year, Williams declared that 2024 would be the year when all the big-name deviants would face their reckoning. Was he referring to Diddy? And if so, how much does he know that he hasn't yet shared? Federal prosecutors, too, have painted a damning picture of Diddy's alleged empire. The grand jury indictment against him includes charges of racketeering, trafficking, and conspiracy, charges that carry the potential for a life sentence. And let's not forget the allegations of witness tampering. Prosecutors claim Diddy has used his power and resources to silence those who might testify against him, even from behind bars. The stakes couldn't be higher, and the courtroom drama unfolding in New York has already captivated public attention. Could this be the fall of one of hip-hop's most influential figures, or is there more to the story than meets the eye?
Every jail is bad, and some jails are worse than others. And the problem, again, is if you move him, why is he getting special treatment? And maybe he's earned special treatment. Maybe what he's done, maybe he's given so much back to his fans and to the world and to charity that maybe there's a way that it plays out in the end. But again, to go into court and say this jail is bad, move him to another jail, is not your first argument. That's sort of the...
And then there's the mystery of the missing witness, known only as Victim 3. Federal prosecutors have admitted they can't locate this key figure, someone who was expected to deliver explosive and personal testimony against Diddy. Is this person in hiding? Have they been silenced? And what does their disappearance mean for the case? The absence of this witness has added yet another layer of intrigue to an already complex and deeply unsettling story. But the questions don't stop there. If Lil Wayne's claims are true, and if Diddy's empire is as dark as it seems, how far does this network extend? How many more victims are out there, afraid to speak up? And just how deep does the rabbit hole go? We've only scratched the surface of these allegations, and already the picture is one of power, secrecy, and control. An empire built not just on music and money, but on something far more sinister. If this is just the surface, what lies beneath? And how much more will come to light as the trial unfolds?
They can't move in the general population. And would he be at risk? Sure, he'd be at risk. There's so many people that have nothing to lose, right? They're going to be in jail the rest of their life. They've got nothing to... They want their 15 minutes of fame. They were friends with Diddy, or they hurt Diddy, or they Diddy, or they did... I mean, there's so many, people in jail that this would be their moment. You can't put them there. Plus...
But just when we thought things couldn't get any darker, whispers of a black book of secrets have emerged. A mysterious ledger rumored to have been seized during the FBI's dramatic raid on Diddy's properties. This isn't just any ordinary notebook. Insiders claim it's a Pandora's box of scandal, power, and corruption, containing the names of A-list celebrities, prominent politicians, and even corporate elites allegedly tied to Diddy's shadowy dealing. Imagine the weight of such a discovery. A single document that could unravel not just one man's empire, but an entire network of influence and control in Hollywood and beyond. What if this book isn't just about Diddy? What if it's the key to exposing something much bigger? A hidden web of connections that's been operating in plain sight for decades. The idea of such a ledger sends chills down our spines. What could it reveal? Names of those who attended the infamous freak-offs? Evidence of payoffs, blackmail, or worse? And if this book is real, how far would someone go to keep its contents hidden? The implications are staggering. Some sources suggest the book was encrypted, its secrets locked away behind layers of codes and ciphers. But investigators are reportedly working tirelessly to crack it. If they succeed, the fallout could reshape the entertainment industry as we know it. Are we standing on the edge of a scandal so massive it could make previous celebrity controversies look like child's play? And yet the mystery doesn't end there. Just as the trial was set to begin, with the world's eyes firmly fixed on the courtroom, a critical witness vanishes without a trace. Known only as Victim 3, this individual was expected to deliver explosive testimony, details that could have sealed Diddy's fate, but now, no contact, no explanation. Prosecutors have admitted they can't even reach the witness's attorney. Was this disappearance a coincidence or something far more sinister? Could this be a case of fear, intimidation, or even tampering? The timing alone raises too many questions to ignore.
I think that even if we don't know our parents, we still have their DNA in us. You know, we have their genes. And I have his hustler's mentality, his hustler spirit, his drive, his determination, you know, his swag.
We have to wonder, if one witness can vanish, what does this mean for the others? Are they safe? Are they being silenced? And what exactly are they so afraid of revealing? Victim 3's absence has cast a long shadow over the trial, with some speculating it could weaken the case against Diddy, but others argue it only adds to the aura of danger surrounding this story. If someone wanted to keep the truth buried, this would be the way to do it. And let's not forget the chilling stakes for those who do decide to speak out. What kind of power are we really dealing with here? As we dive deeper into the trial, more unsettling details continue to surface. Remember the thousands of bottles of baby oil seized during the federal raids? It turns out there's growing speculation that these weren't just props for Diddy's infamous parties, they may have been tools of control. Whistleblowers have hinted that substances could have been mixed into these oils, leaving victims vulnerable and unable to resist. And then there's the matter of the hidden cameras allegedly found throughout Diddy's properties. What exactly was being recorded and for what purpose? Could these tapes be part of a larger scheme to blackmail or manipulate those who cross paths with him? The thought alone is enough to make us shudder.
Diddy's mom has finally spoken out amidst everything that is happening right now. Janice Small Combs provided a statement to some outlets via her attorney. So she starts off by saying it's very heartbreaking to see her son judged not for the truth, but for a narrative created out of lies.
But what if those recordings weren't just about manipulation and leverage? What if they formed the foundation of Diddy's alleged empire of control? Whispers are growing louder about a network of hidden cameras positioned throughout his properties, especially during the infamous freak-off gatherings. These devices, reportedly embedded in everything from ornate decorations to unassuming fixtures, are said to have captured hours of footage featuring celebrities, influencers, and industry elites in private, often compromising moments. The idea that these tapes exist and may now be in the hands of federal investigators has sent shockwaves through Hollywood. It's no longer just about Diddy. It's about the far-reaching implications for everyone who ever attended his events, willingly or otherwise. Adding fuel to the fire are reports that the FBI raids uncovered a trove of hard drives and physical tapes, allegedly containing this damning footage. While the exact contents remain under wraps, sources close to the investigation hint that these recordings hold more than just scandal. They may contain evidence of coercion, exploitation, and even crimes. For those who were unknowingly filmed, the thought of their darkest, most vulnerable moments being preserved for someone else's gain is nothing short of a nightmare. And for those who were complicit, the fallout could be career-ending. Hollywood's power players are now on edge, wondering if their names, faces, or actions appear in this alleged archive of secrets.
He will be sued, and I say will be because nothing has been filed yet, by at least 120 people in the next 30 days.
Behind the scenes, chaos is reportedly unfolding. A desperate scramble has begun among high-profile celebrities and executives who fear they might be implicated. Insiders claim that some are quietly attempting to buy back these tapes before they can be used in court or leaked to the public. From shadowy intermediaries to closed-door negotiations, this high-stakes game is said to involve staggering sums of money. The goal? To erase their names from Diddy's files and avoid the public humiliation, or worse, that could follow. But here's the question. Is it already too late? If the FBI has copies, no amount of money or influence can undo what's been discovered. And the paranoia doesn't stop there. Some sources suggest that the existence of these tapes has led to a wave of NDA renegotiations across the entertainment industry. Individuals linked to Diddy's parties, whether as guests, performers, or staff, are reportedly being pressured to sign updated agreements to ensure their silence. These contracts, rumored to be ironclad, are designed to protect not just Diddy, but an entire network of individuals whose reputations could be destroyed if the truth comes out. It's a chilling reminder of how power operates behind the scenes, locking victims and witnesses into a cycle of fear and silence.
I thought Diddy would be throwing all his celebrity mates under the bus.
I mean, that could potentially be coming when it's time for court and when it's time for him to testify. But what we're seeing right now is how important public relations really are to Sean Combs. He's desperately trying to control the narrative behind bars, allowing his attorneys to do documentaries.
But the most sinister rumor of all Some of these recordings might not just reveal moments of debauchery, they could expose crimes. Allegations of coercion, exploitation, and non-consensual behavior have long haunted Diddy's gatherings, and now the tapes may hold the proof investigators need to bring justice to those who've suffered in silence. If true, these recordings could become the most explosive evidence in the trial, shifting the focus from scandal to accountability. For the alleged victims, this isn't just about humiliation. It's about reclaiming their voices and exposing the system that allowed this behavior to flourish for so long. And yet, questions remain. Will these tapes ever see the light of day? Or will they disappear into the shadows, just like so many stories of abuse and control in Hollywood's history? The parallels to other high-profile cases are hard to ignore. From the downfall of Harvey Weinstein to the revelations about Jeffrey Epstein's network, we've seen how power and influence can shield predators for years until suddenly the truth breaks through. Could this be Diddy's moment of reckoning? Or will his empire find a way to bury the evidence and protect its secrets once again?
Today, just to tell the truth, so hopefully we can get down to the bottom of this. I'm 100%, the charges against me are 100% false, and hopefully due to time, we'll start to see that.
For now, the tension is palpable. Every day, new rumors emerge about who might be implicated if these tapes are made public. Some suggest that the recordings could drag previously untouchable names into the spotlight, exposing connections that go far beyond Diddy's inner circle. Politicians, executives, even other music moguls, no one is safe if their names appear in this alleged archive. And for those who've built their careers on carefully curated reputations, the stakes couldn't be higher. One leaked tape could destroy not just a career, but an entire legacy. The ripple effects are already being felt. Industry insiders say that some stars are distancing themselves from Diddy, scrubbing their social media of any association with him. Others are reportedly lawyering up, preparing for the worst-case scenario. But for every person trying to protect themselves, there are dozens more who remain silent, either out of fear or complicity. The question isn't just who will fall, it's who will speak out. And if they do, will their voices be enough to bring down the entire house of cards?
We are not done. This investigation is ongoing, and I encourage anyone with information about this case to come forward.
And then there's the victims themselves, many of whom are still too afraid to come forward. The thought of their most private moments being weaponized against them is enough to keep them silent. But as more details emerge about the tapes, some are beginning to see a chance for justice. If the recordings do contain evidence of crimes, they could finally hold Diddy and anyone else involved accountable. This isn't just about scandal, it's about a reckoning for an industry that has long turned a blind eye to abuse in the name of power and profit. As the investigation continues, one thing is clear: the stakes have never been higher. The alleged tapes represent not just a threat to Diddy's empire, but to the entire system of influence and control that has protected powerful figures for decades. If this archive truly exists, it could become the key to unraveling a conspiracy far bigger than any of us imagined. The question now is, who will be brave enough to face the storm? And how deep does this rabbit hole go? The comparisons between Diddy's unraveling empire and Jeffrey Epstein's notorious case are impossible to ignore. Both men built their reputations on wealth, power, and access to the most exclusive social circles. For years, they appeared untouchable, shielded by their influence and connections, but beneath the surface, the parallels between their alleged crimes paint a chilling picture of systemic abuse that flourished in the shadows. Epstein's operation involved the exploitation of young women, often under the guise of mentorship or opportunity, while Diddy's alleged network targeted individuals across the entertainment world, trapping them in a dangerous web of manipulation and control. In both cases, their power wasn't just about money, it was about the ability to silence anyone who dared to speak out.
A US judge has ruled that the rapper and producer Sean Diddy Combs will stand trial on federal trafficking and racketeering charges in May. He'll be held in prison until then. Sean Combs has pleaded not guilty to charges that he used his business empire to transport women and male workers across state lines to take part in recorded performances. If convicted, he could face a life sentence.
The way these two figures allegedly maintained control also bears a disturbing resemblance. Epstein famously used blackmail as a tool, reportedly leveraging compromising photographs and videos to ensure the silence of his victims and accomplices. Similarly, Diddy's rumored trove of recordings, captured during his infamous freak-off parties, suggests a similar strategy of weaponizing private moments against those in his orbit. In both cases, these recordings aren't just evidence of exploitation. They're symbols of the far-reaching influence these men wielded. The mere possibility of being exposed was enough to keep entire networks of people complicit, ensuring their empires remained intact for years.
Hey, real quickly, all that commissary stuff, he's not getting any of that because people in the shoe have an abbreviated list. So he's out of luck. No stake for him. Yeah, he is on watch. This guy thought he would have went home. All of a sudden, he didn't get bond. Remember, the first night that he was there.
And yet, the fallout from Epstein's case offers a sobering glimpse into what might lie ahead for Diddy. Epstein's arrest in 2019 marked the beginning of a cascade of revelations that implicated some of the most powerful figures in the world, from politicians to royalty. His infamous Little Black Book became a symbol of the hidden connections that enabled his crimes, much like the alleged Black Book of Secrets tied to Diddy. If the contents of Diddy's supposed archive are anything like Epstein's, the entertainment industry could be facing its own reckoning, a moment when no amount of fame or fortune can shield those who were complicit. What's most striking, however, is how both men's alleged crimes thrived on the complacency of those around them. Epstein's network relied on a system of enablers, assistants, recruiters, and even high-profile friends who turned a blind eye to his actions or actively facilitated them. Similarly, Diddy's alleged empire appears to have been built on a foundation of silence and complicity. From staff members to industry insiders, countless individuals likely witnessed the red flags but chose to stay quiet, whether out of fear, loyalty, or their own self-interest. The question now is whether those enablers will face accountability or if they'll continue to evade the spotlight.
Some people do think that Diddy can help him, but this guy's going to be locked up forever. His case will probably take at least 3 years to litigate. He'll stay at MDC. There's rumors that he wants to go to Essex County Jail in New Jersey because he doesn't like MDC. He's a Marshals inmate. There's no way they're going to transfer him back and forth, I don't know, several times a week.
But perhaps the most unsettling parallel is the fate of the victims. In both cases, survivors have described feeling powerless against the machinery of wealth and influence that protected their abusers. Many of Epstein's victims were initially dismissed or discredited, their voices drowned out by the sheer force of his connections. Diddy's alleged victims face a similar uphill battle, particularly in an industry that has long prioritized image and reputation over justice. The tapes, if they exist, could change everything, but only if those in power are willing to confront the truths they reveal. Even the legal battles surrounding these two cases echo one another. Epstein's initial trial in 2008 ended with a notorious plea deal that allowed him to avoid serious consequences for over a decade. Diddy's current trial, while still unfolding, has already been marked by questions of witness tampering, missing evidence, and potential cover-ups. The justice system's handling of these cases serves as a stark reminder of how difficult it can be to hold powerful figures accountable, especially when they've spent years cultivating relationships with those in positions of authority.
I think it's to be expected, just the shock of this and the questions about what is ahead of us. I mean, how long is he going to be in custody? Is this an R. Kelly situation? Is he going to not get out for a number of years? Is he going to end up serving a long-term prison sentence from this? Or does he have a chance of beating these charges at a trial that could come, within the next 2 years?
And yet, while Epstein's empire ultimately fell apart, it's worth noting how long he managed to evade justice. For years, his crimes were an open secret, whispered about in elite circles but never fully confronted. Diddy's alleged actions, too, have been the subject of industry gossip for decades, with countless rumors swirling about his infamous parties and controlling behavior. The difference now is that the world is watching. In the age of social media and instant information, it's much harder for these stories to remain hidden. The question is whether this new level of scrutiny will be enough to dismantle the systems that allowed these abuses to persist. The ripple effects of Epstein's case are still being felt today, from the conviction of Ghislaine Maxwell to the ongoing investigations into his associates. If similar investigations are launched into Diddy's network, the entertainment industry could be facing a watershed moment. Imagine the fallout if executives, producers, and other high-profile figures are named in connection with his alleged crimes. It's not just about Diddy, it's about the culture of silence and complicity that has enabled abuse across the industry. This could be the moment when that culture is finally forced to change. But there's also a darker possibility that history will repeat itself. Even with the weight of public outrage, Epstein's crimes were only partially exposed before his demise in custody. Many of his hidden truths perished with him, leaving those he harmed without complete resolution. If Diddy's alleged empire follows a similar trajectory, there's a real danger that the truth will remain buried, hidden behind NDAs and legal maneuvering. The stakes couldn't be higher, not just for the victims, but for the integrity of the justice system itself.
It's a question of that, but when you read through the indictment, it's pretty clear who could be indicted as a co-conspirator. Right now, there are people in the indictment who would be considered unnamed co-conspirators, but clearly have played a role in this conspiracy. And I think prosecutors have some big leverage on them because they're hoping that they testify against Diddy as prosecution witnesses.
And yet, there's a glimmer of hope in the courage of those who've come forward. From the survivors of Epstein's network to the individuals speaking out against Diddy, these voices are forcing the world to confront uncomfortable truths about power, privilege, and accountability. Their bravery is a reminder that even the most entrenched systems can be challenged. and that the first step toward justice is often the hardest. The question now is whether their efforts will be enough to bring about real change, or if the cycle of silence and complicity will continue. As the trial unfolds, it's impossible not to wonder what other secrets might come to light. Just as Epstein's case revealed the dark underbelly of high society, Diddy's could expose the hidden mechanisms of control within the entertainment industry. From secret recordings to missing witnesses, the threads of this story lead in so many directions that it's hard to predict where they'll ultimately end. But one thing is clear, the world is paying attention, and the days of unchecked power may finally be numbered. If Epstein's downfall taught us anything, it's that no one is truly untouchable. Diddy's empire, once thought to be invincible, is now on the brink of collapse. The parallels between these two cases serve as a stark reminder of how far some will go to protect their secrets, and how devastating the consequences can be when those secrets are finally revealed. The question now is whether Diddy's story will end with accountability, or if it will become just another chapter in the long history of power protecting itself. Only time will tell.
So yesterday, Monday, Diddy celebrated his 55th birthday, but this year was a lot different. It was no Diddy parties. It was none of that. None of that stuff. Well, happily so, I guess, right now. But anyway, so this is his first birthday behind bars.
Adding to the intrigue is the resurfaced testimony of Cassie Ventura, Diddy's former partner, who has accused him of years of emotional and physical abuse. Her claims about the freak-offs include allegations of coercion and blackmail, with Diddy reportedly using explicit tapes as leverage. Cassie's bravery in coming forward has inspired others to speak out, but it's also painted a harrowing picture of what life within Diddy's inner circle might have been like. And now, with victim 3 missing, her voice feels more crucial than ever. Could her testimony be the thread that unravels this entire web? And let's not forget the financial fallout. Diddy's empire, once valued in the hundreds of millions, is reportedly crumbling under the weight of these allegations. Major brands and business partners are distancing themselves, and whispers of unpaid settlements and mounting legal fees suggest the mogul's golden touch might finally be tarnished. Could this be the beginning of the end for one of the most powerful figures in entertainment? Or does Diddy have one last trick up his sleeve?
Wait a minute, say that again. Say that again, back up. You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes, but
yes.
The shopping thing is
yes,
new.
there already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood. But one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of.
But here's the part that sends our imaginations into overdrive. If Diddy goes down, who else might be implicated in his fall? The alleged Black Book of Secrets suggests that his connections run deep, possibly into the highest echelons of power. Could other celebrities, executives, or even politicians be dragged into the scandal? And if so, how far will they go to protect themselves? The entertainment industry has long been shrouded in whispers of secrecy and control, but this case feels like it could blow the lid off everything. As we watch this story unfold, it's impossible not to feel the weight of what's at stake. This isn't just a scandal, it's a reckoning. Lil Wayne's claims, once dismissed as outlandish, now feel like the first cracks in a dam that's ready to burst. If even half of what he said is true, then Diddy's empire isn't just crumbling, it's collapsing. But the real question is, what will rise from the rubble? Will this be the moment the entertainment industry finally cleans house? Or will the shadowy forces that have kept these secrets hidden find a way to survive once again? What do you think? Could this be just the beginning of something much larger? Let us know in the comments below. And remember, this story is far from over. Stay tuned, because the end of Diddy's empire might be closer than any of us realize. Until next time, take care and keep questioning everything.